Hello all. Went on a long hike today. Some forest, some grasslands, and lots of views. But that's not what I'm here to talk to you about altogether. What I really wanted to talk to you about was extreme climate change is starting to show its head. Just yesterday, Sunday, we had major floods here in Ellicott City. And I'm not sure how you pronounce it. They sort of built the city in kind of a low-lying area where when it floods, it floods. And they said, well, this will only happen every 1,000 years, so we'll just build here. And so last year, so in July of 2016, they had their first 1,000-year flood. Then Sunday, they had another 1,000-year flood. The 2016 flood cost a whopping $10.8 million in damages. It's a small town. Let's go on with the hike. So what's interesting about this flood is that, since they've flooded, they've had two 1,000-year floods in 2 years. You would think that there would be some thinking about replacing or relocating the town, the part of the town that floods. But no, that's not the human way. No, the human way is that you just get other people to pay for your flood damage and you keep building there over and over and over. And that's what they say. They say they're fighters and they're going to stay there. Because all they have to do is just ask the public for money and they'll get $10 million in gifts so that they can stay there and wait for the next flood. So let's have a glance at the chart here. Now, as you notice that every year the damage keeps climbing and climbing and climbing. We're on the third line there, that little red squiggly one. You make up your own choices and decisions on just this graph alone. Should pretty much tell you where you should build and where you shouldn't build. So world storm damage has been increasing over and over, year after year. Right now, since 1980 to present, insurance companies have spent $1.5 trillion on storm damage worldwide. They also say it's going up. So it's kind of interesting what's happening here in the U.S. Let's take a look. We have our first sort of tropical depression. If it had been just a little later in the year, it would have been a hurricane that was flying into the panhandle of Florida. Let's get on with the hike. It's getting hot. I feel like taking my shirt off. Time for the steep hills where we go into the grasslands. Let's continue on. We're up here in the grasslands. Flowers everywhere. Very dry. The heat is now very hot. Let me see if I can get you out of those. There you go. And I want to show you this. It's right up ahead. Let's go have a glance. Do you guys know who pays for most of the insurance damage? The taxpayer, you and I. It's one of the biggest spenders when it goes to disaster, is insurance companies having to pay extreme prices for things they shouldn't because people built in the wrong area. I said people built in the wrong area to begin with. And you're going to have to pay attention to that from now on. And people, when it starts to flood, don't think you can get in and out. Just go the opposite direction. unless you're a storm chaser. So as the grasslands will soon turn to city, we move on. Thinking about the cost of insurance in the future would be a very smart idea. Build in a non-destructive area. Hopefully infill land. That's land that you're recycling from old derricks and derelict buildings. There we go. Alright guys, we're not too far from our destination. So let's have a quick look at the city for today on Memorial Weekend. You may notice the thick layer of smog. Let's go in for a closer look, shall we? Alright, all. It's the end of the hike and is boiling out. So I definitely appreciate all the last comments in the last videos. They've been excellent. Really appreciate it. And all your ups and your downs and the new subscribers, and until next time.